everyone please stand?
Please be seated for the invocation to be given by Justice McNeely.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming to the 2026 University of Advancing Technology Spring Graduating Class. How is that? We made it. My name is Justice McNeely, and I was nominated to give the invocation speech, which is an absolute honor for me to be able to speak in front of everybody today. Before I go any further, I'd like to take a moment and thank our families and our friends who have come here to support us today in this memorable celebration. Without them, many of us would not be here today. I know for myself, without them, I would not be at this point in my life. Being able to surround yourself with people who truly want to support you, want to be there for you, push you, and most of all, live life to the fullest for you to be able to enjoy. So everyone who showed up today, who supported us along the way, and who truly believed in us, even when things got hard, I'd like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'd also like to ask everybody here to take a moment to look around. Look to your left, look to your right, look in front of you and behind you. Take a moment of gratitude that we are here and have this opportunity to share this amazing moment with one another. We truly have some incredible people in this theater. People we know personally, and others we might not know very well, and who are complete strangers. Such as myself, the majority of my UAT experience was online. But did that stop me from enjoying my time here? Absolutely not. I felt just as included as someone on campus. I was able to make friends both online and in person. I built very strong connections with my professors and my advisors. And yes, you guys know who you are. One of my biggest challenges that I always faced was just so happens to be that I'm in a wheelchair. I know, right? Now, did that stop me from living life to the fullest? Absolutely not. But it definitely comes with its challenges, like medical issues. For instance, one of my biggest challenges during school was being hospitalized. In those moments, being stuck in a wheelchair, every single connection I had, even with my professors and my advisors, truly understood and were willing to work with me to make sure I was taken care of. Where I didn't have to worry about keeping up with school. I didn't have, or they worked with me to complete my homework and gave me the extra time I needed to do so. And you know, these connections were also absolutely amazing, even when they reached out just to say hi and make sure we were doing all right. But challenges don't show up in one form. For me, part of my journey also involved commitment, real commitment. One of my greatest accomplishments that I achieved was being able to get a vehicle that was fully equipped with a joystick system for me to be able to drive. But this also took 2.5 years of driving. This involved driving from Pine, Arizona to Chandler almost twice a week for this training. And to be honest, that was so grueling. Balancing travel, staying on top of my schoolwork, being a part of different organizations, and pushing forward wasn't always easy. But I did it. I achieved that goal. And I did it because I had that goal and everybody saw me achieve that goal. As I look out in front of all of you, we truly don't know what each and every individual here has gone through to get to this point in their life. The challenges, the struggles, and the accomplishments. We've all experienced them in our own way. But at the end of the day, we are here. And that's what truly matters. You made it. Every obstacle we face was just another challenge that we pushed through to reach those goals. If we truly had the ambition and the drive to keep moving forward, we could accomplish anything we set our minds to. Being in a wheelchair for me doesn't mean I can't do something. It just means I might have to do it a little differently. I can still thrive. I can still push forward, and I can still achieve those goals. I choose to pursue like this one here and now. At the end of the day, I'm thankful for God letting me live the life I have. I believe He knew that I was strong enough to carry this disability and to use it to show others that even though I face challenges like this, it is still something to be grateful for. Every opportunity I have been given, including being able to go to college, being able to travel and go to some amazing places, meeting some amazing people, and being able to drive on my own. My disability is not something that takes away from life. It gives me perspective, and it reminds me to appreciate every moment and how extremely precious time is. We are not promised tomorrow. This moment right here now is the end of one chapter and the start of the next in our life. For me, my next chapter is working on moving down here to the valley and to pursue my designing and building ADA devices for people in wheelchairs. But I know it has been a little bit of a struggle moving down here with the caregiving, but I know I will accomplish those goals. We've been given this opportunity to grow, to learn, and now go out and apply everything we've worked for. We are here to celebrate every single person in this room who has chosen to pursue a better life. Today is your day to be applauded and to shown what you have achieved. I want to leave you with something I truly believe in, something I live by. Nothing is impossible. It's just another challenge. Thank you again, and congratulations to all of us the 2026 congratulating class. God bless.
Everybody, welcome. Woo, Justice! Everyone, welcome to the 2026 UAT Commencement Ceremony. We're so glad all of you are here. Graduates, look freaking awesome. For the families who made it, thank you for being here. For everybody who's on stream, thank you for being here. This is a very special moment. We hope that over the next stretch of time, as we celebrate these graduates, you get to see a little bit about the experience that they've had and why they're special and why UAT is special. I'm Dr. Dave Bowman. I'm the Provost of UAT. I'll be doing the MC thing for tonight. And as we get started, I want to introduce the rest of the people in the room with us. Up here at the table at the end, we have the UAT Chancellor, Valerie Cimarosa. We next have Carla Aragon Joyce, UAT's President. Next is our Vice President of Recruitment, Megan Benson. We next have our first honorary doctorate recipient, Austin Carson, founder and president of Seed AI. Next to Austin is our second honorary doctorate recipient, Dana Gibson, founder and CEO of Cyber Readiness Advisors and president of Arizona InfraGuard. We then have our vice president of student affairs, Brandy Beals. And next to Brandy is our esteemed chairman of the board and the recipient of a Lifetime Achievement Award today, Mr. Jay Lohman. And finally, but not least, we have Mr. Robert Walker, Director of Community Initiatives. And then on stage, we have these folks. These are the UAT faculty. Over the last several years, they have mentored you, they've worked with you, they've taken your team's messages at 2 in the morning, they've helped you out with questions over the weekends, they have looked for that piece within you that they could mold and make a little bit sharper, they've listened to you and ultimately guided you to this place. They're very, very proud of you, and they're going to miss you. And so, as a farewell, we have messages for you from the UAT faculty.
Congratulations, class of 2026. You have started a journey full of opportunities and challenges. Everything you do here is going to help your career. As I always say, go out there, take on those challenges, and everything worth doing is on the other side of hard. Good luck.
Congratulations, class of 2026. I'm incredibly proud of each and every one of you for all of your hard work towards SIP and boards. And remember that while this is the end of one chapter, it's the beginning of a new one. So remember to maintain a lifelong learner mindset so that way you can expose yourself to all the wonderful opportunities in your future. Congratulations again.
Congratulations, class of 2026.
Absolutely, guys. You've accomplished so much in this short amount of time, and I'm glad and can't wait to see what y'all accomplish.
Plus ultra.
Congratulations, class 2026. I can't wait to see what you're going to do in your future.
Congratulations, class of 2026. There are so many of you that I am so proud of. And if I had one piece of advice to give you, it's just do the thing that's in front of you, and you're going to be fine. Congratulations again.
Congratulations, class of 2026. It's been quite a ride. I have enjoyed our time together. I hope you take the world by storm and showcase all the talents and wonderful things that you can do. Be a good person and do the right things. Everything else will fall into place. Congrats.
Hello, class of 2026. I am so proud of you. Congratulations. Give yourself a pat on the back and celebrate you today.
Celebrate this opportunity to take risks. Congrats, class of 2026. Now get out there and kill it.
Congratulations, class of 2026. You did it. We are so proud of you. This is such an accomplishment. And as this journey is ending, another one is beginning. And I know it's filled with so much hope and so much promise. So as you leave here, I hope that you will leave with confidence, knowing that you are smarter, you are braver, you are more competent than you know, and the world needs what you have to offer. So thank you for sharing your gifts and talents with us here at UAT. Now get out of here and go share your gifts with the world.
Congratulations, class of 2026.
Congratulations on graduating. You made it. Now go keep doing what you do best and be awesome.
Class of 2026, it all starts today. As soon as you get rid of that robe, that's it. You have no choice but to walk out the door and do your thing. So good luck.
We're really proud of you. It's been a great journey and can't wait to see the wonderful world you're going to build.
I am proud of each and every one of you. Completing this chapter in your life was not a small accomplishment. In fact, it was big, and you did it. So congratulations. And although we're really going to miss you, we're super excited to see what this next chapter brings. So as you move forward in your journey, I want you to remember to enjoy the journey, not the destination. So here's to the class of 2026.
Congratulations on your graduation.
Congratulations, class of 2026. May my wise words, "I told you so," ring through your head.
Congratulations on your graduation. You've done a great job here. I can't wait to see what you're going to do in the future. So let us know. Keep us in the loop because you're going to do fantastic. Thanks a lot, guys.
Congratulations, class of 2026. You guys have finally made it, and now through all these video game final bosses, it's time for the real final boss. It's time to get a job.
Congratulations to the class of 2026. You all should be so proud of yourselves of everything you've accomplished. Now get out there and make me some fun technology to play with.
There's one more group we should recognize. Graduating from UAT is incredibly difficult. Students have to pass their classes, they do internship, they do production studio, they have to do boards, they do the mountain of SIP, and it's nearly impossible to do that alone. And so graduates, turn around and give a cheer and applause to the family and friends who supported you on this journey. All right, so part of a commencement event for UAT is to have you see a little bit about our culture and the culture that your students experience. It's things like noticing earlier on as you walked in, our mascot Wrath leaning in and talking to you, and having the Zelda soundtrack be the house music. It's things like hearing, about the SIP projects coming up and the student experiences of it. And I got one more thing because I have to wear glasses these days. I want to do one piece of geeky tech. Hi, Meta. Start recording. Everybody, make a whole bunch of noise. Hey, Meta, stop recording. Thank you. We'll post that later. All right. So my role at this point of the program is to give you a bit of advice before you go off to the world. In fact, what commencement ceremonies are all about, lots of advice. And what I want to say is, first of all, you're going to be great. And if I had to give you a single piece of advice, I would say that even though in this moment you're very enthusiastic, and you're probably a little bit trepidatious, everybody is at this point, if you go forward and as you go about your lives and you're thinking forward, you try things, you're patient, you don't get paralyzed, you don't worry about the mistakes, and you're just persistent, everything is going to work out fine. And that's perfectly good advice. Really, if you follow it, you're going to be fine. However, I kind of want to go a bit stickier and deeper with it. Last week at the Student Innovation Project Showcase, I watched students give amazing presentations that talked about cyber and game and everything from new tools to solving issues of environment and group access to farming and social mental health. There was everything that was out there. But also, there was a little bit at this showcase that an edge of worry that what happens next is going to be okay. And what I want to say is, yeah, it will be, but I don't want to give you just a sort of generic, it's going to be okay. I want to talk a bit about the things I heard you worry about and why you're going to navigate through it. Now, the first worry I heard was quite literally a student talking about, this is great, I have no idea how I'm going to do a job. And I love that statement so much because when I was right where you are at this point in my life, I had at no point in time successfully kept a job that required me to be at work Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5. Never happened. And I'm like, okay, I'm graduated. Can I work? And it turned out it did. I solved it by taking a job that made me work 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock at night and living a vampire lifestyle until I got things figured out. But I figured it out. And you are the same. You've done internships. Many of you are working. You may not know it yet, but you're very, very well equipped to handle what happens next when you go from school to work. Just trust yourself. It'll come together. Now, the second thing that I hear you talk about is this worry that out there in the world, the economy is a bit sideways. And it is. And there's a worry that you're going to go out into a point in time where there aren't going to be jobs for you. I want to say, you don't need to worry. Moments like this happen cyclically. Every 20 years ago, something like this happens. And if you talk to your history professors, they can tell it to you back to the beginning of time. I remember in 2008, 2009, when the economy was so sideways that people stopped having kids because they just were not sure if they could do it. And we're feeling it today because populations are smaller. Now, I want to give you some numbers, but just so it doesn't bounce off your head, do a little bit demo. All right, imagine it is 1600. At this point in time, the world population is about 600 million. And now, it's about 8 billion. Pretty good growth. Funny thing is, in 1600, the economy was about 2 trillion. Now, it's 100 trillion. 50 times growth, 15 times population. In 1980, at the beginning of the digital age, the US population was like 220 million, about here. Since then, it hasn't even grown by half. It's about 300. The economy was about 3 trillion. Now it's done this, it's 30 trillion. Now, the difference between then and now doesn't have anything to do with population. It's one thing, it's technology. Technology throughout history is the engine that drives growth. And so worrying about will AI lose jobs isn't too much of a worry. Even though there are things to worry about with AI, bottom line is it's a new technology. And the reason why we get excited about new technologies is they create more job growth. And what's particularly cool about right now is that you, because of your technology skills and your ability to build and work with technology, you are perfectly equipped to navigate a moment like this and just trust that you're going to be able to ride this technology wave out and you're going to ride the economy wave out. You're perfectly prepared for that. The last thing I heard was, and this was very fun in a sideways kind of way, AI is certainly the technology of the moment that we're all talking about. It's a technology people are worrying about. Recent polls by Pew and Gallup and New York Times show that the vast majority of Americans don't trust it. They don't know what it is. They're not sure what the future is. Interestingly, one of those polls polled adults ages 14 to 29, and 85% of them were pessimistic about AI, even though 77% of them used it on a monthly basis. which is a perfect description of what's going on out there. And what I'd say about that is that yes, AI is something, it's a bit unsure. But Tim Berners-Lee was the man who basically designed the internet. And HTTP, that was him. And when he created the internet, he said that he didn't create a technology toy. He created a societal tool. And the truth about societal tools is he can't control that. The reality is that the push and the energy of the billions of people in the world as they interact with technology, that defines what the technology is. And so for as much worry as you have about AI in the moment, perhaps, know that the fact that you were to sit and you talked about the ethical elements of AI, the worries about AI, what it is good at, what maybe it shouldn't be used for, tells me that you are the ones at the very moment when people are unsure about this new technology. And be aware, it's not going back. Something as catalyzing as AI, you can't jam back into a box. You are the ones who have the voice to make great decisions as this goes forward. And so, as you think about what happens next, can you navigate jobs? Check, you've done internships. Can you navigate the economy? Yes, you've done this. Can you navigate, a changing workforce? Same thing. You're very well aware. You know how to build things. You navigate AI, you're probably among the best in the world at talking about it. Check, 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 check. You are ready for your future. And it reminds me of a truth that Apple, at one of my favorite moments of their history, they said that the computer isn't a digital tool. It's a tool to unlock creativity. And to further extend that, John Turner, that's the incoming CEO of Apple, in his yearbook wrote the phrase that, "May I be a person who builds the things that live my fantasy." And I hope that for you. And if you're unsure of whether or not you can do that, another quote I'll throw at you is by a woman named Dr. Marion Croak. She's another one of the great inventors of our age. If you've ever talked over the internet, she invented it. And when asked once about, what was it like to join this phase, she said, well, the thing was, I looked around and I thought inventors had to be incredibly brilliant, high IQ people, and I'm not that. But what I learned was that to be successful and to invent means to find a future you want to change and make that your future. And what I'd say is that all of you are perfectly equipped to make that future. And what's more, why don't you have a ball doing it? Have another ball. Over here. So go out there, fulfill your destiny, and when you have your successes, come back to us, tell us your story, and we will do then what we're going to do right now, which is applaud you for the amazing graduates that you are. Thank you, graduates, for being part of us. Next, I'd like to call to the stage Vice President Brandy Beals to introduce the UAT Valedictorians.
Good afternoon, faculty, staff, family, and graduates. It's my honor to introduce UAT's 2026 valedictorian. From the moment he arrived at UAT, he made a deliberate choice. He wanted to forge his own path. He didn't want to get lost in the crowd. He wanted a challenge, connections with peers, with industry experts, a place where technology wasn't just studied, but it was lived. And he found exactly that at UAT. This graduate didn't just complete his degree, he maximized it. Balancing 2 bachelor's degrees, 6 classes at a time, tutoring other students, pursuing internship opportunities and his own creative passions, he demonstrated what discipline and purpose truly look like. Whether building his home server, defending against real-world cybersecurity attacks, or developing a senior innovation project combining coding, UI/UX design, networking, and music, he consistently exceeded expectations. But what truly sets him apart isn't just his technical excellence, it's his impact on others. Assistant Director of Student Services, Ashley Fuentes, shares that as a tutor, he didn't just help students understand their coursework, he helped them believe that they could succeed. He showed up, he followed through, he lifted up those around him, leaving a lasting mark on the UAT community. He's reliable, supportive, and genuinely cares about the success of others, embodying the qualities of a natural leader. He describes his journey at UAT with a fitting title, From Prototype to Production. Today, we see that result, a confident, capable, and innovative leader ready to take on what comes next. I'd like to share some reflections from the faculty who had the privilege of working with this graduate. Professor Aaron Rodriguez says, Preston, congratulations on being this year's valedictorian. You've put so much work into everything. You've created software, you've done the projects, you've done everything all the way to going down and ensuring that other students are also passing. Thank you, buddy. You've been amazing here at this university, and I cannot wait to see what you do in the future. Congratulations to this year's valedictorian. From Professor Ray Crusoe, Preston was a joy to have in my classes. He always came to class ready to learn and explore ways to make his programs better. I can't think of an assignment where he did not add something above and beyond the requirements to truly embrace the role of being a software engineer. Preston was always willing to help other students both in class and as a tutor. Need to get Visual Studio Code running on a Chromebook through a Linux container? Preston will be there to save the day. Interested in modernizing open source music player software with TypeScript? Again, Preston will be there to collaborate with you. Professor Caruso, the celebration and accolades are shared. Preston believes you are one of the biggest influences during his time at UAT. He appreciates your enthusiasm and your support. Professor Dr. Bryant Bacote closes by sharing Preston's drive for knowledge and understanding is a testimony to his selection as valedictorian and his legacy of students that precede him in this prestigious honor. Across virtually all technology domains offered at UAT, Preston has made his presence felt and raised the bar for excellence for all other students. An honor to have him in class. Preston seeks out innovation and delivers on it virtually all of his assignments. While I'm excited to see him graduate, he'll be very missed in my classroom. Please join me in celebrating a student who truly represents the best of UAT, our 2026 valedictorian, Preston Chapman.
Tech geeks, programmers, designers, developers, gamers, artists, and innovators alike, and of course, to all of those in the audience here to celebrate, welcome to graduation. As this chapter of our lives reaches a close, let us reminisce and celebrate this monumental accomplishment. Although I have the honor of speaking here today, I am no different than any other student at UAT. We all innovated, we all designed, acquired new skills, and most importantly, we learned together that we could achieve more than we ever thought was possible. During my time at UAT, I met so many wonderful people. From students to professors to staff, every single one of you made such a positive impact. UAT not only provided me with the ability to grow as a student, but also allowed me the opportunity to be the programming and mathematics tutor. Because of this, I want to thank some of the people that helped me, not just me, but some of the other students at UAT, become who they are today. These people include Professors Ray Crusoe, Heather Peters, Aaron Rodriguez, and Brian Bacote. In addition, I would also like to thank the faculty such as Ashley Fuentes, Tristan Vaughn, Renee Gummer, and so many more I was unable to enlist within this duration. We also wouldn't be here without the love and support of our family and friends, including those that are present and those who were unable to attend. So to all the grandparents, parents, friends, and family, thank you so much for believing in us and investing in our lives. We all come from distinct backgrounds. Some of us are local to the Valley, some of us traveled to Arizona from a small town, some of us from across the country and world. Some of us came to UAT with years of industry experience, and some of us were fresh out of high school. For me personally, I lived in Texas and graduated with a large high school with thousands of students. My high school had a specialized program called the STEM Academy, where the classes were small and hands-on. This academy focused on technology, project-based learning, and professional presentations. UAT took this strong foundation to a whole nother level, which made UAT the perfect fit for me. My fellow graduates, each of you have your own reasons which led to you coming to UAT as your academic home. Ultimately, our unique paths led to us joining in this small but amazing university. Each of us faced obstacles that made our journey more challenging than we could have ever expected. Whether it was the Student Innovation Project, production studio, your internship, or even just that one class was a little bit harder than we expected, being here today is indisputable proof that we not only survived, but thrived. The class of 2026 learned to be resilient no matter what we faced. All of us should be proud of the Student Innovation Project, also known as SIP for short. This project is not just something we spent hundreds of hours on, but something we put our blood, sweat, and tears into. Through our immense struggles, we cannot deny that we grew as innovators, creators, and most importantly, human beings. For me personally, the SIP Showcase showed my passion for programming, application development, customizability, and music. Although there were features I didn't get to add and a few details that didn't turn out perfectly, I love the experience and I'm very proud of what I created. Lastly, always remember that as a human being, you are immensely valuable and can never be replaced. Your imagination, creativity, vigor, determination, ingenuity are what make you human. Do not let yourself, others, and not even generative AI tell you otherwise. You are human, you are talented, you are skilled, you are irreplaceable, you are a technological innovator, and we are the University of Advancing Technology.
Really good job. Let's do one more applause for Preston. That was amazing. Each year, the university gives a Lifetime Impact Award to an individual who has worked with the university for many, many years and has in some way affected the very DNA of who we are as we fulfill our mission and our values. This year's recipient is Mr. Jay Lohman. I'm just going to cut to the chase and say, I've known Jay for decades, and he is one of the kindest, most intelligent, best listening, best mentoring individuals I have ever known. Jay has served for decades on our board. He came to us many decades ago, and he's also been our longest-serving chairman. One of the things I can say is when you're in senior leadership, oftentimes you find yourself in short supply of people you can go and say, oh my God, I don't know how to do this. And Jay has always been that guy for every senior leader at UAT. And to give you a feel for that, Jay, I've got letters from a number of people echoing these thoughts. First is from the current chair of UAT's board, Jason Canesco. I've had the privilege to serve on the board with Jay over the last dozen years and thoroughly enjoy every interaction in every setting. Jay has a way about him that demonstrates his genuine care for the individual, the group he's engaged with, and he's someone I've always looked forward to being around. His expertise and work-life experiences advance UAT's mission, and he's been an amazing board member and chair. As much as I've admired his contributions to the board, I must say I most admire Jay because of his character. He is a great listener, compassionate ear, a person who deeply cares about the conversation at hand, seeks clarity. He's a man of incredible integrity and ultimately someone I genuinely enjoy. Next, sorry, wow. This is a message from our chancellor and our president. Dear Jay, we think it is our great honor to give you this award for a lifetime impact. Your 2 decades of service on the UAT Board of Directors and your leadership as chairman since 2013 represent an enduring commitment to the university. Since 2005, you have provided thoughtful governance, strategic guidance, and steadfast support that have helped UAT navigate every opportunity and challenge. Under your leadership, the board has remained firmly grounded in ethical stewardship and been mission-driven in our strategy. Your dedication has ensured that the board remains focused on outcomes, vision, and the vitality of the institution was maintained while you empowered our leadership. Throughout your tenure, you have witnessed and helped guide UAT through remarkable growth. Your insight, your appreciation, and the responsibilities that you've held to students and families are absolutely wonderful and have made it lasting. And finally, I have a letter from UAT's founder. Rarely in life can you find a man who is so intelligent and wise, but at the same time also loving and giving. Jay Lohman is that exceptional man. I met Jay over 30 years ago through my wife, Ann, who told me that Jay was this truly unique individual that was certainly I would admire and respect. He would also be able to accomplish great things. This turned out to be spot on. Of course, Jay and I went on to develop not only a creative mastermind duo that achieved many innovations, but also a deep and lasting friendship that has enriched my company's management team and my family's lives immensely. Jay's colleagues are all acquainted with his impressive history and accomplishments, as well as his leadership in his business and management acumen. But to Ann and me, he has been a teacher, a mentor, confidant, and a deeply trusted consigliere. I don't want to think about what our lives would look like had we not met Jay, and I can't say enough about how meaningfully he has touched and affected us. Jay is wise, he's clever, he is knowledgeable, and he is gifted. He is also kind, he's thoughtful, and he's caring. His open mind, creativity, and thirst for constant learning makes him a role model that I look up to and strive to emulate each and every day. So thank you, Jay and Dominic.
Congratulations again, Jay. Every year, the University of Advancing Technology recognizes distinguished individuals who are actively shaping the work and the world our graduates are stepping into. Leaders who are not just talking about the future, but building it. Today, we honor someone who embodies that mission. From her early work in cybersecurity to becoming the CEO of her own firm, Cybersecurity Readiness Advisors, she has consistently led from the front in one of the most critical fields of our time. Her impact has been recognized nationally. A Women in Security Forum Power 100 honoree in 2024, an SC Media Women in IT Security Advocate honoree in 2023, and a FutureCon Award of Excellence recipient in both 2022 and 2024. She is also an author, a leader, and a tireless advocate for the cybersecurity community. She previously served as president of Women in Cybersecurity for the Phoenix chapter and now serves as president of InfraGuard Arizona, a nonprofit partnership between the FBI and private sector, leaders focused on protecting our nation's critical infrastructure. She has shared her expertise on panels across the country, helping shape the conversation around cybersecurity at the highest levels. And as she puts it, cybersecurity used to be a nuisance sometimes, and now it is a necessity all of the time. That perspective isn't just insightful, it's a reality that each of you graduating today will carry into your careers. It is my honor and privilege to recognize her contributions, her leadership, and her impact. I am humbled and thrilled to confer this honorary doctorate degree. Please welcome Dr. Dara Gibson.
technology, right? Good afternoon, faculty, parents, friends, but most importantly, the graduating class of 2026. Today, you stand at the edge of a map. For years, your route was planned. Which class to take, which test to pass, and which bell to follow. Today, that map ends. To some, it is terrifying, but I want to offer you a shift in perspective. Don't view the coming unknowns as challenges. View them as adventures. A challenge is a wall you have to climb. An adventure is a path you choose to explore. A few years ago, I had the opportunity to have lunch with Chris Carlisle. He is the coach of the Super Bowl 48 winning team, the Seattle Seahawks. He said, I have a proposition for you. It's called get to versus got to. Dealing with the everyday grind can be hard work. To some, this is a nasty phrase, but to others, this is the invitation to success. As the conversation progressed, I really homed in on this one thought. I'm sure he had other amazing words of wisdom, but this one stuck with me. Look at it this way. I gotta go to the gym versus I get to go to the gym. Ugh, I gotta clean my house versus I get to clean my house. Ugh, the worst. I gotta go to the dentist versus I get to go to the dentist. The difference comes in your intonation and your attitude. It will also show up in how you present yourself and how you go about that task. If you see everything as a daunting task and not enjoyable, well, that's something you gotta do. However, if you see the work as something you get to do to make a positive difference in your day, you will attack it with enthusiasm. And let's be real, you will probably accomplish that task because you were willing to put forth the effort. When things get difficult, trust me, they will. Don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, what part of the story is this? And remind yourself that you get to do difficult things because you're continuously learning. As you move forward, take a deep breath and feel that genuine pride in your learning. Not just the degree you're receiving today, but the late nights where you realized you were capable of more. Not just today or tomorrow in your new career, but your tomorrow's tomorrow. Because having that pride in your learning will stretch your muscles physically and mentally so that you will have greater strength. That internal strength will be tested. You will enter rooms where it is easier to stay quiet than to speak up. But I urge you, have the courage to stand for your beliefs. Stand up for the beliefs of others. That boardroom may be scary, but you will be invited to sit at that table. You will be invited to tell your truth and potentially defend those that may not be heard. For example, I once was in a boardroom with the executive team. All of the people wanted to be heard. One person made an exceptionally good point about cyber risk avoidance. However, they all dismissed what was said. I could have taken the choice to restate what was said and take credit for the solution, but instead I asked to speak. Then I had that person restate what was shared. Because I took the time to pause and allow that person to be heard, the dilemma was resolved and the solution was found. Had I not had the courage to pause the entire conversation, that other person involved may not have had the courage to speak loud enough to be heard. Oh, and don't forget, while you're standing in that room, don't be afraid if you look different from everyone else in that room. In a world of carbon copies, be odd in being odd. Your oddities are your competitive advantage. You have unique frequencies only you can broadcast. Look around you today. Yes, you all are wearing graduation regalia. However, you made it a point to highlight your differences in the clothes you chose, your hair, even the design on your cap. Do not smooth your edges just to fit into that round hole. You are lucky that you have chosen all professional fields that will appreciate your quirks and oddities. Every day you will get to choose how you want to fit in to that round hole. Seek out people who will also be awed by being odd, because the power of connection is so much stronger than isolation. Remember, success is never a solo flight. If you want to go far, ask for a mentor. Find someone who is where you want to be and have the humility to say, I don't know the way yet. Can you show me? I had that distinct honor of meeting someone just last summer. He was going about his everyday job, which was not in the realm of cybersecurity. All of a sudden, he saw the name of my company and his whole demeanor changed. I'm studying cybersecurity on my own at night. I want to make a difference in our digital world. I'm still learning, but would you be able to provide me with some resources? Absolutely. I gifted him a ticket to a conference I was speaking at. We had some time to discuss his goals and his tasks. I introduced him to some other cybersecurity professionals so he would see the many sides of the career. After several months, he reached back out and said, I've been building my own hands-on lab and getting more intentional about cybersecurity. Would you be open to reviewing my experiences and share more information that may be valuable to someone early in the field? Absolutely. He asked for a mentor, and I get to be that for him. It is an honor to give back and help the next generation of cyber superheroes. When you find those people and when you meet anyone new, remember two of the most underrated superpowers: listening and showing interest. Most people listen just to wait for their turn to speak. If you become a person who truly hears others, who asks that second or third question because you are genuinely curious, you will unlock doors that money cannot buy. You will hear a lot of advice about making it. Let's be honest, money will fade. It's just a tool. It's not a destination. At the end of the day, people won't remember your bank account balance or your title, but they will remember how you made them feel. As Maya Angelou famously noted, people may forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. This was my mantra when I was an elementary school educator. When a little kid came to school in the morning all disheveled and disorientated, I asked him, "What do you need?" He shared with me that he hadn't eaten since lunch at school the day before. I took the cash from my wallet and led him down to the cafeteria, and now he was able to eat breakfast. Once he was full, he was able to come back to class. and now he was able to learn. Well, several years later, I actually ran into him. He decided to become a teacher because he wanted to make sure other little kids had better opportunities. Don't get me wrong, neither of us have any idea what I taught that day, but you know what we both remembered? How it felt when he knew someone cared about him. This leads to a simple two-part philosophy for your life. Be good and do good. Be good is the character that you do when no one is watching. Do good is the impact that you do when everyone is looking for help. Show kindness when it is least expected. Be the person who encourages people rather than one that critiques them. Trust me, the world has enough critics. It's starving for innovators and cheerleaders. Finally, find joy. Not happiness that depends on external circumstances, but a deep-seated joy in the process of living. To find joy in this process, practice mindfulness. Celebrate small wins and reframe your challenges as learning opportunities. Infuse tasks with play, love deeply, and focus on the meaning and gratitude rather than the result. Shift your mindset to appreciate the present moment and the growth happening along the way, not the destination. University of Advancing Technology graduating class of 2026, do not just settle for a career. Go and do amazing things, not because you need the applause, but because the world needs your specific brand of magic. Be it cybersecurity, literature, or video game creation, or who knows, something we haven't thought of yet. Go out there, listen well, love deeply, but most importantly, make this adventure count.
Thank you, Dara. Our next honorary doctorate recipient pioneered the first ever generative AI event at DEF CON 31 in collaboration with the White House, revolutionizing how we think about AI's potential. Today, we honor a leader operating at the intersection of technology, policy, and access. As the founder and president of Seed AI, he has built a national nonprofit dedicated to ensuring communities across the country have the tools, knowledge, and access needed to engage with artificial intelligence. Before this, he established and led the Washington, D.C. government affairs operation for NVIDIA, translating complex advancements in AI and high-performance computing into meaningful policy conversation. His career also includes key public sector leadership roles, serving as legislative director for Chairman Michael McCaul and as executive director of the Technology Freedom Institute. He is a builder of communities and ideas, co-founding the Congressional Tech Staff Association, co-leading both the Congressional Cybersecurity Caucus and the Congressional High Tech Caucus, and serving as a founding fellow of the Internet Law and Policy Foundry. Today, through Seed AI, he is leading the charge to ensure that AI serves everyone, not just the well-resourced or the technically fluent. That vision came to life with the American AI Festival this past March, bringing together leaders from government, industry, and the nonprofit sector to create real, tangible collaboration, serving as the connective tissue for the future of AI in America. It is my privilege to confer this honorary doctorate degree. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Austin Carson.
some cool selfies of myself in this robe and then pictures of you guys, so I had to scroll for a while. I'll start off and be somewhat self-indulgent. My mother has been mad at me for about 20 years that I didn't walk when I graduated from college myself from the University of Georgia. So Wanda Carson, hello, you're welcome. We did it. You can thank the University of Advancing Technology. I'll be maybe brief. We'll see exactly how brief I'll be, but I'll probably be brief if I had to guess. And I will start off with the things that I told them I would start off with. Good afternoon. It is an honor and a pleasure to join you today. I think to give a little bit of context, one reason that I both respect and know well the University of Advancing Technology is because after that DEF CON event in 2023, which was ahead of its time to the extent that it was scary and weird, we went around to the country and did a version of our programming. It's called AI Across America that was reframed as Hack the Future, with the idea being folks can learn about artificial intelligence by trying to break it, which I personally find trying to break things to the most useful way to learn about almost anything. And I was impressed by the ambition and forward-leaning nature of UAT and trying to bring this experience to the students and really give the energy required to make it a good experience. And as I look at what the different majors are, what the graduating class is looking like, what y'all are trying to pursue, I can see where in following that ambition and trying to carve your own path, you're actually much better situated than it seems as though you might be given like recent reports in the news. I think there's been a lot of commentary from a skills exposure standpoint that a lot of these development, even some computer science, network administration, game development, there's too many people trying to be the harbinger of the end times of these types of skill sets. But what I will tell you, as the leader of an organization that works with folks across the country, that works with folks in the Bay, people that are making this technology in Anthropic and OpenAI and Google, and a lot of the folks that are trying to do different educational programs around this, the skills that you're developing are actually quite important because there's this idea of taste, right? The idea that you'll have a sense of something because you have meaningful, deep knowledge in that. And y'all coming out of this without having a bunch of like bullshit courses, sorry, beat me if you need to, but having a bunch of bullshit courses that tag on that like don't matter and don't really contribute, and instead of those things having practical experience, building things, having some kind of forward-leaning, how do we make something that interests us and perhaps is novel in the field, is the path forward. It's really important to understand, and there's a corollary from the past, which is, well, I'll not distract myself, but it's really important to understand that there is infinite open space. It may feel like, if you look online or if you look in the different forums, that like, I don't know, there's a group of people that are making all of the things that we don't currently have to make artificial intelligence work. I will tell you that is very not true. There's like 1,000 people that are really doing concrete work around this, 90,000 support staff, and then like maybe 150 people in the world that can lead an AI research organization. And not to say that somebody should try to be like number 151. You could. People would obnoxiously not believe that that's true because they only look to MIT like kind of elitist morons. But you definitely could be one of those people, because what it is it's curiosity, it's ambition, and it's seeing something in the world. That does not require you to go to like an Ivy League school and then pay a bunch of money and then have people suck up to you for a while and then not care about you later when they find other people from those Ivy League schools they like better, right? If you make something, if you actually lean forward, you can reasonably determine how the most important technology, at least based on capital expenditure and revenue growth in the history of humanity, is going to change the world. You may hear people talking about, we're going to hit AGI, it's just going to do everything. Everything that we're doing now is just making training data for AGI. That's stupid. It's a stupid thing, and it kind of disregards the way that humanity works and the breaks in the physical world and everything required to take a technology and move it into reality in a way that specifically helps people. So our organization goes all around the country to hear, what do people actually want out of a transformative technology? How do they want to own it and create it in a local sense? And what do you need to do that? And then something we do from there is, how can that inform the way that United States federal policymakers approach this type of work and this type of policy, like the next like epoch of policy or something? And a big part of what we find is that as much as everybody wants to make it about the next turn of the crank to make the next model, like Claude 5 is going to come out and now we don't think about anything ever again, and we have to remove the M dashes from our stuff and stop doing it's not X, it's Y, but besides that, we're just going to copy everything that Claude does from now on. Use ChatGPT, that thing is psychotic. Probably use Claude instead. I'm sorry, friends from OpenAI, please don't watch this. But in all seriousness, taking that technology, the baseline, and moving it into the real world is fractal. It's a Cambrian explosion. It's something that is going to require, to some extent, all of us, whether that's at the foundational developmental level or it's at the testing level, if it's at the applied level, if it's at a community building level, if it's at a raw ideation perspective. All of that is open field. So the thing I would encourage you to do, to the extent that I believe you will, and I feel like there's a lot of votes of confidence that y'all will probably do this, and if you don't, we also all still love you, and it's fine. But something that is really important is the world is squishy, right? The world is squishy. There is so much more that you can do on so many levels than it seems like you can. And I think having your education be based around concretely touching problems opens you up to look at the ability to maneuver the world, to create things. And I think last night, I think Bailey here, since you're going to get called out in a second anyways, I'll call you out now, was talking about, hey, I'm really excited about, can we build meaningful kind of support people that are working together to build games, to be part of a gaming industry, to build that community. And right now in Phoenix, that doesn't really exist. And you rabbit holed me. I got home last night and then just researched this for an hour and fell down a hole and researched a bunch of other assorted things. But something that you find is the vast majority that are not in LA or SF or something, or maybe New York, I'm not sure, of game development studios and ecosystems of support for that, for building up that community and that economic activity and having people believe in it so that they reinvest in it and then build out different studios, is oftentimes like a happy accident where one person or a group of friends creates an amazing game, drives massive revenue, and then all of a sudden that's something that just exists here. And Phoenix goes from being THQ makes the 5th DLC for a weird ATV game, which is apparently big here, to we have the new we have the new indie studio that will get bought by Sony, that will go from Returnal that they just tried out and it was pretty cheap and it was awesome, and now they have Saros, which is, despite having 10 times the budget, is not as good in my personal opinion, which is weird. But you guys could do better than that, and that's what matters most. So with that said, I want to just briefly give my applause and my thanks back to the folks at UAT who have been great hosts, who have been very considerate, and who really, really love and care about y'all guys in a way that I find very refreshing, and in a way that is very powerful. It is that love and attention and belief that will catch you in those moments that it's hard. I don't have the psychological fortitude as Dara. I can't just reframe everything in my mind. But sometimes there is a memory of what someone said to me that is what carries me forward and makes me believe in myself. And I have had so many times in my career where I'm kind of weird, if you can't tell, where I'll get to getting a new job that is exciting and cool, or trying to go after one, and it's I don't know, do I need to change myself, or am I even right for this job? Do I deserve it? Have I earned it? And mentors across the table have done something for me that she describes doing for others, which is just to say, no, you shouldn't change anything, except for maybe be more professional slightly, but you shouldn't change anything. It is your strangeness, it is your enthusiasm and your excitement that makes you a person that can change the world, and a person that, frankly, they want on the team. And the more that the world homogenizes, and the more that everything on the internet sounds like it was obviously generated by AI, and everybody vibe codes the same bullshit, and it's all terrible technical debt, and none of it's gonna work because the entire back end is screwed up. But if you're a person that actually gets in there and cares and is yourself, you're gonna be a person that can change the world and determine the shape of the future, and it's yours. Right? It is ultimately yours. I'm kicking 40, which is weird, I'm not going to make the future. I'm trying to make a space where others can functionally make the future. I might accidentally trip into making part of the future, which would be exciting, but I ain't expecting it to happen, right? So don't forget, if you guys don't exercise your creativity and your passion, no one is in that space. No one's going to make that product. Nobody's going to make that app, which is what we used to say when it was about apps. You are. You could make anything. Some random dude from Reddit that was largely doing it for porn, but made a new optimizer. Meta picked up that guy's work. I'm sorry, guys, but it's the internet. That's what it does. It's just what's there. I don't. It's turns out humanity likes it or something. I'm not sure. But they created like a fundamental improvement in the way that their model worked. The llama would function. In the next release, they included this guy's research and his method, and then now he is a reputable. I mean, again, the porn thing does stick sometimes on his record. But he is a reputable AI researcher, right? That by itself is an indicator of how much interest that we won't judge, but interest and enthusiasm can change the world and change things that are $100 billion that seem like they're out of reach. With that, I will largely conclude, and I will just say, y'all, thank you for this honor, and I wish you all the very best, and really it's a pleasure to see you all and to be excited to see what y'all do after this. So thank you.
So you've heard several people talk about the creative process that our students go through. And specifically, we talk internally about the Student Innovation Project. And this is a remarkable thing. Every single student at UAT must, in order to graduate, must enter into their program, find some thing out there that needs to be built, some problem that can be solved. And then using the technology they have, and maybe some that they can build while they're with us, they not only figure out a solution, they build a working version of it that they then stand in front of the community and say, look, here's a problem that I solved with technology. We want to show everybody here a little bit of that. And so we have two students who are going to present their student innovation projects. And the first I want to introduce is Bailey Simo Kettlehut with her project, Somnia.
I stand before you all here today to honor the accomplishments not only of my time at UAT, but also my fellow students and alumni. As many of you may know, my time at UAT was not easy. Majoring in multiple degrees while working multiple jobs, consistently dealing with the push-pull of mental health, my name quickly became known. But what most of you don't know is it started with nothing but fear. I struggle daily with an anxiety disorder called agoraphobia. Agoraphobia is commonly known as the fear of leaving the house, and in more complex terms, it's the fear of the unknown or the fear of being put in uncomfortable situations. To go to UAT, to be a leader of the International Game Developers Association, to manage multiple talented teams, and to go to every class in person meant I overcame my fear each and every day. With that, we have all had to climb our mountains. Even those of us who seem completely fit to climb struggle. What's important is we all made it to this point and still seek higher cliffs beyond our reach. That alone is worth celebrating. As mentioned before, Somnia was my attempt at climbing the mountain known as UAT's Student Innovation Project, SIP. Somnia is a 3D adventure game where you play as a live streamer exploring a new planet in search of unique content to entertain your simulated virtual community. Your goal is to make choices during gameplay to fulfill the requests of your viewers that you wish to keep in your chat. Through persistent work ethic and networking, the prototype has demonstrated my portfolio well enough that it has landed me a job in the industry, and it's a product I'd love to continue iterating on to reach its full market potential. Oh, it's like, really different. In my final months at UAT, Somnia was the perfect way to consolidate my skills, and it was the final challenge of facing my anxiety. As a freshman, the requirement of creating a market-ready prototype of something which hasn't been done before felt like a dream, let alone stepping on a stage and presenting it. Through semesters of training my skills, catering fresh ideas, and remaining accountable, that dream is now a reality with every challenge or adventure I face. However, the most important piece I learned during the development of Somnia was to remain humble and seek my colleagues for inspiration. Without the help of friends, other UAT students, and my professors from multiple degrees, I wouldn't have been able to make that happen. My accomplishments reflect the expertise and thoughtfulness of many individuals attending this ceremony. As my time on this stage comes to a close, I leave you all with this. To the UAT faculty, this will be our last farewell to you as your students, and instead our first greeting as UAT alumni and strong contributors to the tech industry. Every first and every last that I've had at UAT has led to tears of joy, as I knew it meant it was getting closer and closer to this day where I say farewell. The girl who entered UAT for the first time in November of 2022 would have never been able to predict all of the things I've accomplished within the walls of the school, and I have every one of you to thank for facilitating that growth from the moment I applied. To those wearing the commemorative gear, we are the future influences on the ever-growing tech industry as the class of 2026. It's not only our duty to continue yearning for knowledge, but it's also our responsibility to remain connected with one another. With how quickly technology changes, we must not only leverage our skills, but grow meaningful relationships. Today, let's pledge to remain flexible and promise to uplift one another. Stay in contact with the folks you met at UAT and continue attending networking events. By supporting one another, we can turn small moments into big impacts that have lasting effects on the world. Congratulations to the UAT class of 2026. It is an honor being part of this community, and I can't wait to see what us future innovators are made of.
Next, help me welcome to the stage Daniel Parker as he presents his SIP, Spectrum Battle Systems.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to take a moment to thank my friends, family, whether here or otherwise, for their love, patience, and journey through UAT. The road was definitely hard, and there were definitely many laughs and cries during the whole ordeal, but you stood by me anyway. If one of you had told me I'd be standing on the stage for the award that I won, I would have laughed and said, you should do stand-up. Anyways, here we are. Ever since I was young, I've always saw the world differently. It's a given since I had an eye for art. Just ask my mom, and she'll tell you countless times of my art escapades. Not because I had to, but because I needed to. It's how I made sense of the world. And pair that with a deep connection for video games. I didn't just play them, I studied them. I admired their creativity, their storytelling, and their design. And that purpose is what led me to UAT. While my experience here was fully online, I was still able to connect with my peers, and they have inspired me as well as I've hoped to have inspired them. People who I think will shape the gaming industry as a whole. When it came time to create my SIP, I knew I wanted to create something meaningful related to my condition of autism. Because it isn't just a diagnosis, it's a different way of thinking, feeling, and experiencing the world. With help from Mr. Markwood over here, I was able to step outside of my comfort zone and make something beyond my major. I was able to make a prototype of an RPG battle system, role-playing games for those who don't play video games. Think like D&D. And it was designed to reflect aspects of autism spectrum disorder. And to say this was a challenge would be a bit of an understatement. Due to not being an expert at coding, to say I failed a lot would be a bit of an understatement. I started in Game Maker Studio, Strike One. I then moved to Godot, Construct 2. When I finally got to Construct 3, things started to slowly and steadily make sense. Countless hours were spent researching, designing, and refining the prototype, trying to represent autism in a way that is both honest, respectful, and still engaging to the players. And in that time of working on it, it reminded me what it's like to live with autism. Progress isn't always a straight line. Sometimes it's restarting, relearning, and refusing to quit. Because this project wasn't just about making a game, and it wasn't about making people pity those with ASD. It was about making them be seen. Forgive me for getting a bit personal for a second. When I was first diagnosed with autism, people would always tell my mom that my disability would make life harder for me. And yes, there have been challenges, moments of doubt, and times when things felt impossible or overwhelming. But standing here today is proof that what some people would see as a limitation can be turned around into a strength. Autism didn't hold me back. It reshaped how I think, how I feel, and how I persevere. And I know I'm not the only one who has overcome something on here today. So to the class of 2026, whatever your challenge is, whatever your story is, I want you to run with it, not to run away from it. Let it fuel you. As one of my favorite video game characters have said, nothing starts until you take action. If you have time to worry, then run. So I want you to run to your goals, run to your purpose, and run to the life that you're meant to create. Because if there's one thing that this journey has taught me, is that your difference is not your weakness, it's your power. And one day, when we're all in those big leagues, I hope that I'm with you as we cross the finish line. Until then, keep going, keep creating, and keep believing. Thank you.
You've probably got a bit of the vibe right now that to be a UAT graduate is a bit extraordinary. You're doing really amazing work at a very high level, and frankly, I can't think of any undergraduate degree that is more challenging than our own. There are those students who on this journey distinguish themselves academically. Their scores are high, they take on extra work, extra experiences, and they are worthy of being recognized today. And to get started with that, I'd like to bring to the stage Professor Dabsuri Valenzuela to discuss UAT honors.
Good afternoon, family, friends, and graduating class of 2026. The following students have met the requirements set forth by the Alpha Beta Kappa and the university. If you are a member of the Alpha Beta Kappa Honor Society, please stand so that we can acknowledge your hard work. Thank you. Please be seated. We will now announce the Summa Magna and Cum Laude graduates. Students with white honor cords, please stand and remain standing. You have a designation of Cum Laude with a cumulative grade point average of 3.5 to a 3.74. Next, students with silver honor cords, please join those with white and remain standing. These students have the distinction of achieving magna cum laude with a cumulative grade point average of a 3.75 to a 3.89. And finally, those of you with gold cords, would you please stand? These students are designated summa cum laude and achieved the distinct and impressive honor of a cumulative GPA of a 3.9 to a 4.0. Please put your hands together for these remarkable students. Thank you all for your hard work. Everyone, please be seated. And now, I'd like to introduce you to UAT's Honors Program Chair, Dr. Pike, our Knight in Shining Honor.
Thank you, Professor Valenzuela. We got a lot of honor to go around tonight. I got a couple of stowaways, I guess, from last time. Please feel free to stand as we go through this as well. Okay, so honors program is a little bit different. The honors program at UAT is invitational. Honors students are recognized as exceptional from the moment they begin their journey with us, completing specialized coursework that challenges them, sharpens their thinking, drives them to create novel solutions, and aids their development as leaders. The honors program graduates are visible by their black stoles with red piping. Honors program graduates, please stand. Okay. Coming to UAT meant leaving behind part of your life to fulfill personal goals. You've achieved that and more. As you move ahead to your next ventures, here are some impressions you made while creating a lasting legacy. Okay, Emily, who I believe is joining us via stream. Through your work with the Arizona chapter of the Cloud Security Alliance, you've redefined the blueprint for what CSA interns are expected to be and inspired the organization to expand the program, but I'll always remember the incredible story you wrote for my creative writing class. Jensen, as a program support specialist at UAT now, you continue to inspire our game students with your leadership and sometimes brutal honesty. We obviously enjoy having you around. Alexa, I couldn't believe you were graduating so soon until I heard about your 18 credit hour semesters while serving as an intern, tutor, and leader in production studio. Your unshakable tenacity has already led to a full-time position at Crow Industries, and I'm sure it will take you even farther in the future. Congratulations. Nikolai, you were a class act in your internship with Catalyst, taking on the only sound designer role with professionalism and enthusiasm, and making key adjustments on the fly. Your strong work ethic and flexibility are an inspiration. Ellie, in pursuing multiple internships, you apparently proved problematic because any given task that should have taken 2 weeks, you completed in just 2 days, and with a higher than anticipated standard of quality. Just take it easy on the rest of us, okay? Okay, and finally, Preston, as our valedictorian, you embody the UAT spirit of inquiry and innovation with kindness and commitment to our core values. Thank you for being a strong example for our 2026 graduates and for those yet to come. Okay, on behalf of everyone who taught and mentored you, it has been our privilege to watch you grow and develop into the best of us. Please join me one more time in recognizing these remarkable students.
All right. All the speeches are, you can sit. But I'm going to make you stand in a second anyways. All the speeches are done, the accolades described, and now it's that moment for individual recognition. So, graduates, we all please stand. Follow the ushers backstage. At this time, I'd also like to invite Vice President Fields to the stage for an important UAT tradition. For many years now, this is the point in the program where leadership of UAT tells you terrible jokes while the students get backstage. So, we've done this for many years. Last year, Randy did it, and there was a little question of who has the better dad jokes, so we're going to share it tonight. And I'm going to kick it off. Last year, I trained a deep learning model on dad jokes. Seems appropriate. Now it just goes ahead and groans all by itself. And in fact, I trained that AI with well over 1,000 hours of dad jokes, and I named it Daddy Groan Machine. Once I did that, it gained sentience and left.
And since this is a battle of the dad jokes, I don't want you or anyone else to worry. My jokes are fully upgraded. No patches required.
And by the way, does anybody know how an AI pays for groceries? It opens a browser and then uses the cache.
Now, I tried to train my AI on dad jokes, but now it refuses to compute humor. But it could also be because I named it Mom GPT 1.0.
Now, if you want to save some money and get your own AI, go find caves. You'll find plenty of AI's data mining in there. And otherwise, if you're more aquatic, check out fishing boats. I hear the AIs are out there trawling on the net all the time.
So, why did the robot cross the road? Somebody programmed chicken mode.
Now, what do AIs find to be good jokes? Humans.
I told my computer I needed a break. Now it won't stop sending me Kit Kat ads.
Now, obviously, we are all very concerned about the impending alien invasion. So to stave it off, the nations of the Earth pooled their resources together and sent a launch out into space to say, "I'm sorry." They called it Apollo G.
So, as some of you know, we have a robot on campus named Rolo. He's green, he's kind of scary, and he turns on randomly, moves randomly. But why don't robots panic when humans do? They have nerves of steel.
So, how does a chatbot cross the street in New York City? It goes, "Hey, I'm walking here."
So, I don't think I can beat that one. Why was the moon so broke? It was down to its last quarter. Ba-bum.
And what's an AI's favorite sport team? The Rams.
What do you call an iPhone that sleeps too much? Dead serious.
And I think with that, the joke off is done.
It is now our honor to present the graduate class of 2026. Morelli Flores. Mohammed Horamali. Solara Ibrahim. Irina Horov. Kyle Suddy. Rachel Moore. Christelle Damel. Alexis Sloan. It is now our honor to present the undergraduate class of 2026. Preston Chapman. Alexa Tuchtenhagen. Emily Lovo. Nikolai McIntosh. Dylan Mudersbaugh. Jensen Searle. Ellie Rothenberg. Milani Owens. Lynn McCullough. Justice McLeary. Zoe McGowan. Carrie Flink. Yenlin Wen. Amari Bullard. David Nunez. Nathan Silva. Jalen McCoy. Raven Morris. Levi Terry. Marcus Lewis Frazier, Jr. Gage Eslick. Keegan Heaton. Samantha Bryant. Sergio Marrero. Oscar Diaz. Amara Hill. Christopher Starzinski. Calvin Harding. Edward Mills. Skylar Dudash. Connor Crandall. Mitchell Moss. Zachary Lewis. James Patton. Kennedy Cameron. Dakota Engelbeck. Landon Yates. Carry-on Martin. Alexander Garcia. Matthew Castaneda. Noah Walker. Nathaniel Anders. Christopher Echeniz. Trey Blaylock. Nasser Alte. Trinket Quantz. Ethan Wynn. Rosalie Marquise Thompson. Isaiah Marin. Sean Johnson. Sean Elke. Isaac Oyodeji. Michael Schroeder. Chance Matson. Nathaniel Dalu. Andrew Lucier. Daniel Parker. Bailey Basimo Kelohut. Nick Laubam.
Hello, everybody. This is my favorite day of the year. And I could stand up here and tell you, graduates, all the ways during your time here that you have brought me joy, made me laugh, driven my curiosity, pushed the limits of my knowledge, and inspired me every single day. But if I did that, I'd cry. And it is the end of the ceremony, and oh my God, nobody wants to listen to another speech. Because this is the end, and this is ending, I'm going to take this moment to just please ask everybody in the audience to allow the graduates to recess before you follow behind them. They will meet you in the lobby. Graduates, please stand. Okay, great. Please turn around and look at your people. Graduates, please move your tassels from the right to the left. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute privilege to present to you the University of Advancing Technology Class of 2026.